In today's world of social media, some people take things too far, especially when it comes to beef with their rivals. They think they're simply untouchable, but dissing live on Instagram can sometimes have deadly consequences. From taunting their enemies to showing up uninvited, these moments show what happens when online bravado turns very real. Let's look at some shocking times when dissing on IG Live not only went wrong, but also became disastrous. Number 1. The live drive-by threat. One man took his confidence to another level, going live as he cruised through the city and boldly trash-talked his rivals. Claiming he was the reason his enemies had turned tough, he taunted, "Everything you learned from me." He laughed and ranted, seemingly untouchable. But just as he was mid-sentence, his carefree live stream turned serious. Someone was tracking him, and before he knew it, shots were fired at his car. The live audience witnessed the terror as his camera captured his reaction, going from bravado to survival mode in a heartbeat. Miraculously, he escaped unscathed, but the message was clear. Words have power, especially when used as weapons. His near miss highlighted the blurred line between online insults and real-life danger, as his rivals proved they weren't only watching, they were ready to strike. For this man, what started as a show of fearlessness turned into a shocking reminder that in the streets, actions can be louder and far more dangerous than words. Number 2. New York rivalry live confrontation. A man in New York decided to take his feud to another level, parking right outside his rival's home and going live. His words were chilling. He boasted that he'd shoot whoever stepped outside, regardless of who it was. "Come outside," he taunted, seemingly unconcerned about any consequences. He repeated his threat, daring anyone to open the door. But as he continued his rant, his cocky confidence was abruptly interrupted by a loud noise. In a split second, his face changed, and he scrambled away, abandoning his previous bravado as he ran for cover. Viewers saw a tough persona dissolve into genuine fear. This risky stunt nearly turned deadly, a sobering reminder that real-life conflicts can't be controlled with a camera. His escape was lucky, but he learned a critical lesson. Taunting someone from their doorstep on live might sound bold, but it can end as badly as a face-to-face confrontation. For this New Yorker, social media bravado became a terrifying, life-threatening ordeal. Number 3. Taunting a fallen rival's memory. When one man decided to go live and mock a deceased member of a rival crew, he thought he'd be able to get away with it. Laughing and dismissing the man's memory, he taunted that the fallen rival was no real threat. But his confidence quickly faded when he ran into people connected to his target in real life. "Who, me?" he stammered, trying to backtrack as his rivals confronted him, refusing to let his insults slide. They grilled him, demanding an explanation for his online behavior. Caught off guard, he tried to play innocent, even pretending he didn't know what they were talking about. But the damage was done, and his rivals saw his hesitation as a weakness. This encounter was a powerful reminder that talking down about someone's memory can carry real, painful consequences, especially in close-knit communities where everyone knows each other. The once arrogant taunter walked away with his confidence shattered. His online antics turned into a humiliating, potentially dangerous situation. It was a sobering experience that taught him the hard way. Sometimes, it's best to leave old grudges buried. Number 4. Barbershop confrontation over gang signs. One wannabe gangster thought he'd gain some respect by flashing rival gang signs on social media. The post didn't sit well with the actual members of the gang he was dissing, and one of them caught up with him at a barbershop. Face to face, the man who had acted so tough online was visibly shaken. The gang member pressed him hard, demanding to know if he understood the disrespect in his actions. Shaking, he tried to explain himself, his voice breaking as he stammered out excuses. The barbershop patrons watched, the tough guy persona dissolving before their eyes. What he'd thought was harmless clout chasing became a horrifying reality check, as his online image was stripped down to raw fear. This incident was more than just a clash. It was a lesson in respecting boundaries, both online and off. He left the barbershop humiliated, realizing that not everything posted online stays in the virtual world. His experience became a stark warning for those who think throwing up signs is just a game. Number 5. Mubu Crump's final live stream. Chicago's Mubu Crump had a reputation for brazen, reckless behavior, and one of his most infamous moments came when he taunted a deceased rival on live video. Crump didn't stop there. He pulled up to multiple locations associated with his enemies and continued his disrespect, live streaming each location visit and mocking the people tied to them. But in May 2018, things took a fatal turn. Crump was attending a house party when a car drove by and opened fire. Crump was hit multiple times and rushed to the hospital, but he didn't survive. His death was a tragic and violent end to a life marked by intense rivalries and dangerous feuds. His story shows the grim reality that comes with taunting others in an unforgiving world. Mubu Crump's downfall serves as a powerful reminder that online disrespect, when carried over into the streets, can lead to irreversible consequences. His legacy lives on as a cautionary tale about the thin line between fame and danger. Number 6. Wannabe gangster exposed at casino. Another man tried to boost his street cred by going live and boasting about shooting at his rivals, but his post caught the attention of his so-called target, who decided to confront him in person. They crossed paths at a casino, and suddenly, the self-proclaimed tough guy turned meek. "Who? Me?" he stammered, backing down instantly. Face to face, the wannabe gangster was stripped of his online bravado, admitting he'd been exaggerating. It was a humbling moment as he faced the reality of his claims. His social media persona had painted him as fearless, but now, confronted with the truth, he was exposed for what he really was. His encounter at the casino served as a stark lesson about the dangers of clout chasing. The crowd watching witnessed the brutal reality. Words online can easily turn into humiliating confrontations. For this man, the price of pretending to be tough was more than just embarrassment. It was a reality check that online bluster isn't worth the consequences. Number 7. CJ Casino's risky hood visit. Rapper CJ Casino, well known in Fort Worth, decided to up the ante in his feud with rivals by going live from their neighborhood. With the camera rolling, he boldly declared, "I'm out here," challenging anyone brave enough to confront him. Confident and unfazed, he taunted his enemies, daring them to show up. But what started as an audacious display of street cred quickly turned into a dangerous, heart-pounding ordeal. Suddenly, shots rang out, and Casino's once cocky demeanor shifted to one of sheer panic. The live stream captured his shock and fear as he scrambled for cover, realizing his live stunt had pushed things too far. Friends nearby rushed to his side, frantically helping him get to safety and arranging medical help. His carefree challenge had dissolved into a chaotic, life-threatening situation that played out in front of a live audience. The footage was a powerful and grim reminder of how social media bravado can transform into real-world danger in a heartbeat. For CJ Casino, his risky visit ended in a desperate scramble, a harrowing lesson that words and challenges online can quickly turn deadly in enemy territory. The moment underscored that social media doesn't provide immunity from real-life threats. And for CJ Casino, his digital dare on IG had almost cost him everything. Number 8. The Untouchable Challenge. In another intense Chicago incident, a young man went live on social media, claiming his neighborhood was off-limits to anyone who dared to challenge him. Full of swagger, he taunted his rivals, confidently stating they'd have to risk it if they tried to step onto his block. His boldness captivated viewers, and he seemed unfazed by any potential consequences. However, the moment took a drastic and terrifying turn when gunfire suddenly erupted in the background. His expression shifted instantly from confidence to sheer terror, and viewers watched as he scrambled to get away from the danger he'd unwittingly invited. In the chaos, he managed to escape without injury, but the reality of the incident hit hard. The audience that had tuned in to watch his fearless display now saw something else entirely, a stark reminder of how quickly online posturing can turn into real-world violence. The gunshots shattered his untouchable facade, leaving behind a shaken individual forced to confront his vulnerability. For viewers, the incident was a powerful cautionary tale. The bravado displayed on social media holds little weight when faced with the true dangers that these feuds can provoke. While he walked away physically unharmed, the lesson wasn't lost on him or his followers. His untouchable challenge became a sobering example of how online antics can spiral out of control, reminding everyone that even the most confident personas are vulnerable in the face of real-life consequences. Number 9. J. Hood's gym confrontation. J. Hood, a former member of Chicago's notorious O Block, had turned over a new leaf, stepping away from the street life that defined his past. Now focused on blogging, he aimed to share insights and stay far from his former affiliations. However, a recent trip to the gym took a dark turn when he was recognized by rivals who weren't interested in his new path. As they confronted him, tensions rose. They demanded to know where his loyalties lay, challenging him on his past connections to O Block and questioning whether his shift away from that life was genuine. Hood tried to de-escalate, explaining he had left the old life behind, but his efforts barely registered with his rivals. Their suspicions seemed rooted in a perception that his transformation wasn't real, and they continued pressing him, making the situation increasingly uncomfortable. Throughout the exchange, Hood remained inside the gym, wisely avoiding a physical conflict, but the threat was palpable. Despite leaving the streets, he was now reminded that his past would continue to cast a long shadow, with old rivalries resurfacing even in unexpected places. This gym confrontation brought a chilling truth to the surface, that leaving a high-stakes lifestyle is rarely simple, and the associations of one's past can linger, often refusing to fade quietly. For Hood, it was a stark reminder that others may still see him as connected to O Block, regardless of his current intentions. The encounter underscored the real and lasting risks that come with leaving gang life behind, a past that may never fully release its grip, even as he strives to move forward. Number 10. PGF Muda's close call on enemy turf. PGF Muda, a Chicago rapper known for his boldness, decided to take things up a notch by streaming live from his rival's neighborhood, broadcasting his presence as a direct challenge. Strolling confidently through enemy territory, he taunted his rivals for not being around, mocking their supposed absence and daring them to come to face him. The live stream attracted attention, and Muda's followers watched in real time as he paraded through the hostile area, seemingly invincible. However, the situation took a sudden and dangerous turn. As Muda continued to provoke, gunshots erupted, breaking the tense silence and forcing him into an immediate scramble for safety. The screen shook as Muda ran, his earlier bravado gone, replaced by the raw urgency to escape with his life. His live stream, which started as a display of fearlessness, had transformed into a high-stakes, terrifying close call. In the hours that followed, Muda's rivals wasted no time seizing the opportunity to mock him on social media, relishing in his near brush with death. They taunted his escape, turning the tables on his earlier confidence and making it clear that his audacious act had not gone unanswered. For Muda, what began as a calculated show of dominance ended as a humbling reminder of the dangerous line he had crossed. This incident was a vivid lesson, not just for Muda, but also for his viewers, underscoring the very real consequences that can arise from online bravado combined with real actions. The reckless choice to challenge his rivals on their own turf showed how quickly words can escalate into life-threatening situations. The lesson. What's the moral of these stories? Well, it's simple. Don't let the screen fool you into thinking you're invincible. In today's world, the line between online and real life has blurred, especially when it comes to beef on social media. These stories highlight a chilling truth. No amount of followers, likes, or live views can protect you from real-world actions. When people go live to taunt rivals, throw threats, or disrespect someone's memory, they often forget they're dealing with actual human beings who have real emotions, loyalties, and, in many cases, nothing to lose. At the end of the day, the biggest takeaway here is that social media isn't a shield. If you're using it to escalate beef or disrespect others, you're stepping into a world where anything can happen. Clout chasing might get you views, but those views won't matter if you're risking everything to earn them. For anyone thinking of starting a feud on Instagram Live, let these stories serve as a warning. Bravado and pride aren't worth your life. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.